Gino King Boxing back in the building, back with some more boxing news. Man, we got an update on Canelo Alvarez and his next opponent. Supposedly, Canelo Alvarez are in talks right now to face William Scull. Yeah, we all bummed out on that one. Yeah, he's in talks to face William Scull, man. Who wants to see Canelo Alvarez fight William Scull? Absolutely nobody. Man, and if this fight happens instead of the Terrence Crawford fight, huge disappointment and another letdown from boxing. Once again, we don't get to see the fights we want to see. We don't get to see the mega fights we want to see. And this right now is the reason why boxing is suffering. If they make this fight over the Bud Crawford fight, this is why boxing is in the gutter right now. Nobody wants to see matches like this. I mean, what happened to the days of Muhammad Ali and George Foreman and Rumble in the Jungle and Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier? What happened to those days? It seemed like those days are far few in between. These guys want the easy cakewalk, and I'm hoping that this fight doesn't happen. Everybody is hyped and wanting to see a mega fight. Everybody wants to see we're fiending for a mega fight between two greats in boxing right now. Yeah, we got the Fury versus Usyk fight. But those aren't fights that everybody's anticipating. It's a huge fight. I'm not saying Fury versus Usyk is not huge. Yes, it's huge. Great fight. Both fights. But we want to see another mega fight. The biggest fights in boxing right now, which is Canelo Alvarez versus David Benavidez, Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Crawford, or Gervonta Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson. Those are the three biggest fights in boxing right now. And we can't get neither one of these fights because of the fighters, the promoters, the politics of boxing won't allow it. And, everybody's giving each other the runaround. Man, we're sick of it. William Scull, I believe he's a Cuban fighter. Not taking nothing away from William Scull, but I'd rather for Canelo Alvarez to have fought Christian Mbili than William Scull. We didn't want to see the Edgar Berlanga fight. Nobody wanted to see that fight. We all knew who was going to win that fight, and it happened exactly how we thought. I'm not taking nothing away from Edgar Berlanga either. I think he's a decent fighter, but, when you get guys on the level of Canelo Alvarez and Gervonta Tank Davis, these are two great fighters, and they're fighting D-level fighters. This is just not going to work. It's not going to work for the fans, and overall, it's not going to work for the sport. It's definitely a letdown. And we need to stop supporting these fights. These guys continue to fight. These fights we don't want to see. We need to stop supporting it. William Scull, he's 23-0, undefeated. But, who is he beating? He hasn't beaten nobody reputable that we want to see. He won a unanimous decision against Vladimir Shishkin back in October. Another unanimous decision against Sean Hemphill. These fighters he's fought, and he fought a Christian Fabian Rios, who was 23-18 3 fights ago. A 6-round fight, and he won by unanimous decision. And the face of boxing, Canelo Alvarez, is deciding the fight in May, possibly Cinco de Mayo. We need to just stop supporting these fights. No pay-per-view. People need to stop buying it because it's just not You know, it's just not fair for the fans who want to see a mega fight, who want to see good fights, who want to see competitive fights. You know, so we didn't want to see we didn't want to see the last 2 fights of Canelo Alvarez. Really, I want to say the last 3. I didn't want to see Jermell Charlo versus Canelo Alvarez. I didn't want to see Canelo Alvarez versus Jamie Maguire. And then I didn't want to see Canelo Alvarez versus Edgar Berlanga. You know, and to be fair to Canelo, hey, we'll give you one of those fights. You fight one of those fights, and then you fight Benavidez or Terrence Crawford. But no, you're fighting bomb after bomb, bomb after bomb. Three trash can fights in a row. You know, you made Jermell Charlo travel 14 pounds up to fight you at 168 and proved that you were way tougher, way better than Jermell Charlo. He didn't even want to fight. He was a scaredy cat the whole fight. You know, the Jamie Mugai, a little bit more competitive, but he's a young fighter, man. We all know you were going to beat him. You know, no match. He just got knocked out by a no-name here last month. And now, you know, the next fight you fought Edgar Berlanga, which Edgar, hey, he's a decent fighter, but we all know he's nowhere near your level. You watched him, and now you're fighting William Scull. Those are 4 fights in a row. If they make this William Scull fight, that Canelo Alvarez is fighting bomb after bomb. You know, so when is he gonna fight somebody that's competitive? When is he gonna fight somebody that's great like him? You know, everybody was sitting around 12, 13 years ago hollering about Floyd Mayweather was ducking this person, ducking that person. I never seen Floyd fight 4 bums in a row. 4 guys that were way under his skill set level. He may have fought 1 guy, but then the next fight, he was right there with in a competitive fight against a superstar. So, you know, I don't want to hear nothing about Floyd Mayweather ducking or Canelo Alvarez, the face of boxing, and, you know, this and that. Yeah, he's going to look great against these low-level guys. You know, it seems like ever since Demetrius Bivol, he's been having an easy time. All his fights have been a cakewalk, and he doesn't want to take the risk of potentially losing again, and that pay rate drop. So he said, man, I'm gonna make these easy fights, make 30, 40 million, and coast for the rest of my career. That's not gonna do it, man. Is Canelo Alvarez great? Yes, he is a great fighter. That's why it's so disappointing. You know, he had everybody hyped this week with the potential Terrence Bud Crawford fight. And this William Scull fight is still not set in stone, but for them to even be entertaining it, I think it is a disrespectful for boxing and boxing fans for him to be entertaining this fight. You know, and yeah, we need a change, man. You know, I think it needs to be an organization in boxing that governs who fights who. We need to get all these promoters out of boxing, and it needs to be something like how UFC is, how Dana White has UFC. You know, no ducking, no fighting easy fights when you're the #1 top guy. None of that crap. You know, but this is what you get when you got 10, 15, 20 different promoters, and you can kind of do what you want to do, and it's the Wild Wild West. You know, and people are going to continue to support it just because it's the favorite fighter and they want to see their favorite fighter win. And, yeah, like I said, I think it's a huge, huge disappointment. And, man, we just need a change, man. If this Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez fight doesn't happen, I think that would be a huge disappointment for boxing, especially after the last week, the anticipation, everybody talking about it. Huge letdown. But hey, that's my opinion on the situation. Y'all let me know what y'all think. This is Gino King Boxing. Y'all press that subscribe button, press that like button, and I'm out.